עוד יותר, יוצרי התוכן של ישראל.
We are back. I am here with Maton, a famous stand-up comedian, Israeli influencer, Israel's most wanted bachelor. Yes, he was awarded the title this past year. Yeah. I'm here with also Michael Rapaport, a famous stand-up comedian, actor, producer, wartime hero, and then I'm Noah, a nobody. Welcome back, guys. Michael, welcome back to Israel.
Glad to be here. Glad to be back in Israel. Glad to be here with you guys.
Glad you're with us. How's your second visit been so far?
The second visit has been, you know, it's hard to say great, because it's still such a sadness, but it's been everything. I've learned a lot. I've talked to a lot of people. I've got to meet a lot of people. I'm continuing to get to see new things. You know, I'm new to Israel, so I don't, you know, you could let me out of the building, I won't know where I am. But I'm really, really glad to be back, and I'm really glad to be here on the podcast with you guys.
That's awesome.
We're so excited.
Noah's the same way, by the way. Anywhere outside of Tel Aviv, she won't know where she is.
Yeah. That's true. Although I did go to Ra'anana.
You did. You went. You felt the.
Yeah, I felt the pain, and I got a lot of hate messages that I need to go visit my grandma. So
last podcast we talked about when Americans, when you guys are in America, you're like, oh, it's only 6 hours away, like it's close. When they come to Israel, they don't leave Tel Aviv ever.
Right, they're like 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Exactly.
I can't leave.
So she felt it, and she went to visit her family in Ra'anana.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I want to start off by talking about both of you guys. You both are stand-up comedians. Michael, you're also an actor, producer. Maton, you're also Israel's most wanted bachelor. Yes. But you guys have a little overlap with the stand-up comedy, but y'all only met like through the war, basically, right? Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I saw a video of Maton's, and I just love
roasting Greg. Was that
I can't remember which one it was.
The first ones I remember.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know how I saw it, or you know, I wasn't following him. Yeah, no, I wasn't. No, because I just saw the video, and I just liked the way he was articulating himself and his point of view about what he was talking about. I don't remember which one because I've seen so many. You know, about what he was talking about, how he was talking about it. And in a 2023, 2024 social media way, because there is a skill set to doing that.
That's true.
And then I kept seeing more videos, and I don't think he mentioned anything up because this is when you were serving.
Yeah.
Like, and I couldn't tell because a lot of me be in a car.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell like if he was serving or not serving. And then I went on your page and I was like, wait, this was a stand-up comic. And I remember telling my wife, I said, yo, that dude that I sent you, yeah, that dude does stand-up comedy. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah, he's in the IDF. And she was like, really? So I just, you know, liked how he was articulating himself. You know, and I say that in a way because it's a skill. Like I said, it's a skill in a 90-second format to articulate yourself in that way that I don't think I'm particularly that good at. And it took, you know, I noticed it, and then, you know, I think I DM'd him or shared something, and then I was like, yo, da 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 da, and he was like, yo, da da da, and the next thing I was like, yo, da 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 da, I'm coming to Israel, and then we met, and him and his friend came, and, you know, just was chit-chatting and talking about just, you know, his life. And
also, I think it's important to note, he's not American, he's fully Israeli, and his English, his way of articulating the English is phenomenal.
And it helps.
Major props to you.
It helps the cause from an Israeli perspective.
Yeah. A lot of Americans told me that they feel like I was the first time they saw an actual Israeli speaks English, but in a way that they could understand. It sounds bad, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
They're like, we want to listen to you guys. We want to understand what's happening, but we can't with the, you know.
100%. 100%.
And my friends send me a screenshot of Michael sharing one of my videos. They're like, Michael Rapaport fucking shared your video. And I was like, oh my God, really? And then I went into his page, I saw it, and then I saw he was following me. And I was like, really? what is happening? I was in the middle of fucking nowhere in Hebron. I was like, oh my God, okay. Then I followed them back, and then we start all this
and then
back
the rest
and forth.
is history.
Yeah.
I have to say, you guys have the best bromance. Like, I'm kind of jealous. I'm not gonna lie.
You should.
Like, I
You
am
should be
jealous of
jealous.
this bromance that
You
was
should
formed.
be jealous, but you could be a part of it.
Can I?
Yeah.
100%. You
We're
could
very
be like
welcoming.
you could
Yeah,
be
you
like
guys are inclusive?
a wing woman. A wing woman.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, 100%. Everybody could join the bromance.
Next meetup, I'm there.
100%.
People asked me, when we met and we had the pictures, and people asking, I felt like people kind of wanted to know that you were a douchebag. They were like, kind of like, he probably just brought you to his hotel, took a few pictures, right, and he blew you up. And I was like, I was there for almost 2 hours.
Wow.
We had like a great conversation.
Yeah, I didn't want to stop talking.
Yeah, we had a great time, a great conversation, and it was awesome. And people were like, nah, but he's kind of a douchebag. I was like, no, he's actually awesome. I don't know. Like,
Michael, I'm not trying to hype you up or anything, but seriously, I met Michael on the street, literally Pinsker Street, with his wife Kibi.
It was cold. It was raining.
It was raining. It was cold. It was back in December during his first visit here, and one of the most lovely, nicest people. And I think it's so hard in your position. Like, so many people want to talk to you all the time, want to ask you for pictures, want to just approach you, and it's so hard to not get annoyed. So major props to you for seriously being. And actually, Leia, my roommate, she brings influencers to Israel. She brought Michael, and she was going to introduce me to him regardless. And it was just coincidence that I met you on Pinsker. And I remember coming back home, calling Leia. I was like, oh my God, he is the nicest person ever.
You should have heard what Leia said about you.
Leia, what'd you say about me?
my roommate Dor is one of his biggest fans.
Right.
Dor and
I was
Michael
like, and I said like I was very casual about it. He was like, oh well, I gotta go, and he was like, where are you going? I was like, oh, to meet Michael Rapaport. Like, you know.
He was like, why aren't you bringing me
It's just a Tuesday for me, you know. And he was like, you going to meet who? Like, Michael Rapaport was like, yeah, so we're going to meet Michael Rapaport. You're not going anywhere. And he was so excited. He wouldn't stop talking about it, like, for weeks.
You didn't bring Dor?
Yes.
You did?
I did.
We were chilling.
Oh,
We were hanging out.
nice. What a good roommate.
He was so starstruck. He was just like, he sat there like, oh my God. He was like, that's the first time being your friend paid off. And I was like, yeah.
In all these years.
In all these years, I invested in you.
You owe me
finally.
rent and shit.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. I was like, oh, thank you. That's awesome.
But I'm happy to be here, and all the experiences, interactions have been cool. Have been cool here, and and honestly, outside of the comedy and the videos, when I was talking to Maton, he was like, I'm from Judea, Samaria, and he was explaining that to me and explaining, his reality of his point of view and growing up. And there's such misconceptions and misinformation. And, it almost seems like, like this, battleground of, it's 1,000 years. So to talk to somebody who's a comedian and he's on social media and, speak, I was just like tripping off that. And that was, I think that's why, because I would have, otherwise it would have just been pictures and I would have been a douche. I'm like, all right, cool.
No. Good to know.
But it was just, it was very interesting just like hearing that and the people are people.
Yeah.
People are like, he's living out, his pursuit and dreams. And also the dichotomy of somebody that's for Americans, stand-up comedians is such a specific personality.
That's true.
It's such a specific goal. And then, I'm a stand-up comedian and then I'm now an IDF reservist serving in the IDF during this crazy time, and I'm like, stand-up comedians, like you should see the fucking stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just a different. So like, I was just fascinated by that, sort of like everyday life. So that's
it's the same thing in Israel, by the way. 95% of stand-up comedians are just stand-up comedians. Yeah, they didn't do anything in the army. They didn't got called up for anything. So it's like me and maybe 4 more of my stand-up comedian friends are actually called into duty. No. I'm the only one that was an actual combat training. But the thing is, when people, they try to use it against me. Like, people were like, he's not in the IDF, he's a stand-up comedian. I was like, that's how little you know about how things going in Israel. Because people can be stand-up comedians, electricians, carpenters, whatever, and then when they call you to the Army Reserves, you come to the Army Reserves.
Part of their identity here.
Yeah, and people were like, he's not even he's not an IDF soldier. He's just. I was like, yeah, I have a career, but I do this. Like, it's not the same. Yeah. People don't know anything about how things work here in Israel, and it's unfortunate. And it's our fault, I think.
How so?
Because we don't explain ourselves very well. We don't care about it until there's a war.
And then it's kind of too late.
And then we're like, oh, why everybody hates us? Like, oh, you didn't know that? Like, people, we talked about this. We talked about it like when they made it into like a racial war. Like, Israelis get to be white and Palestinians are non-white. And I was like, really? People really think that way? And
they think all, I mean.
Yeah.
Speaking about the war, do you remember where you were and when you first heard about October 7th? Like, do you remember exactly where you were?
I was... Man, what city was I in?
What was your initial reaction?
I was on the road performing somewhere. I think I was I can't remember. Can't remember where I was, but I remember I was on the road performing, and it was a Saturday. I woke up, I slept a little bit later than I normally did, so a bunch of text messages and there's like a bunch of activity on my phone, and I was like, what the fuck? And it was kind of like, it was like about 11 in the morning, East Coast time, so it was like probably 7 here, give or take an hour or two. And I was just getting all these text messages and then, going on Twitter. And I was like, what, what's happening? And I didn't, honestly, because I remember kind of waking up like, like cobwebbed and sleeping a little later than I normally do. And I thought, oh, it was like some rockets, or missiles. Like it was, and I think like everybody, you kind of realize the seriousness and the it wasn't just rockets, it was an attack and it was physical. And then, as the day was progressing and you're catching up on the last, 12 hours, you realize what was happening. And I was just tripping out. And then the next day, it's just more information was coming in,
Yeah. So I'm curious to ask, what inspired your advocacy? Like, I was a bit surprised to hear December was your first visit in Israel.
Yeah.
Like, most American Jews who have not visited Israel didn't really necessarily react too much initially to October 7th. I think later on they understood the complexity and how terrible it was. But you from the start were like going at it on social media. I guess like what inspired your Israel advocacy, especially since you've never visited?
What incited me, really, because like I said, I was on the road that night. I worked. I probably went to sleep early, and I was, just understanding what had happened. The next day, I had woken up very early because I was traveling, and I was sort of getting all the information. To be totally honest, I was getting information, catching up on everything, and to the celebration the next day incited me, and really, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And, it was so infuriating to see celebration.
They were really quick with it also.
Yeah, very
It was
quick.
the next day.
It was the
insane.
next day.
And it was the next day in New York City, which is where I'm from and where I live. And to see the outward celebration and the girl going like this.
That one.
Was, that
crazy.
girl who,
Yeah. And the
and
protesters are going like,
the next day, while people are still fighting in the kibbutz, and people are still, bodies are still, where it's basically still going on.
Yeah.
The attack was still going on. Yeah. That incited me. And that is, I know I checked it because I was trying to, check it for somebody. The first sort of video that I did was on the 9th, which was on the Monday. And, when it became fuck the Jews, fuck Israel, that's what kind of, like got me going and everything afterwards. And I've always been defensive of anti-Jewishness. I've always been outspoken about it in my sort of tenure on social media. And this is sort of the apex of it. October 7th was the apex of everything in recent years of all things anti-Jewish and anti-Israel. And, to be honest, the whole experience, I've been sort of going through, imagining, revisiting, and understanding myself as a Jewish man for about the last 5 years, and it's through certain things that have happened, you know, in Charlottesville with the Jews will not replace us and you will not replace us. That was a thing, and then, you know, my wife very, you know, going through that, and she, you know, 2 years ago she started converting, and you know, and we bought a new house, and you know, this was like 6 years ago, and we put a mezuzah, and there was just
just had a bar mitzvah also.
That was my trip. That was my bar mitzvah. But, you know, I've always identified myself as Jewish. You know, in New York, if you're white, you know, like white-skinned, people go, "What are you?"
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people mistake me because they think I'm Irish because of my coloring and stuff like that. So, you know, growing up, you know, like, what are you? I'm Jewish, you know, but it never was a problem. Like, I never dealt with anti-Jewishness in New York. I really didn't. I never had any I've never had
Especially because New York has lots of Jewish people.
Some people have had it. I never had it.
Yeah.
You know, I never had it. You know, like, it was not a thing in my life. No. It was a thing in my father's life.
And now, do you feel like, obviously...
Well, now we're at like a reimagination, reinvigoration of anti-Jewishness. Yep. Yeah. So... those sort of, you know, perfect sort of storm of things has got me to where I am here. And, you know, speaking out on it, like, speaking out about what happened and the way that I spoke out about what happened, the way I've continued, wasn't anything that I thought about. I just was doing it, and I really expected more people to do it.
Which leads me to my next question. I mean, you have a lot of Jewish friends in the stand-up comedy industry and the entertainment industry.
Because, of course, Jews control Hollywood.
Obviously. Duh. How do you feel, or maybe what would you, like, how do you feel that they're not standing up right now, and what would you want to tell them?
Well, you know, I would have expected more from the Jewish performers. I would have expected more from people in Hollywood, because historically and most recently, actors, artists, performers have spoken up in big platforms about everything from when Marlon Brando was sort of like did it publicly at the Oscars about Native Americans, and Patricia Arquette speaking up about, you know, women's rights and women getting equal pay, and everything around George Floyd, and everything around Oscars So White, which was sort of Jada Pinkett's, you know, sort of started that, to LGBTQ, to, you know, climate change. These motherfuckers talk about everything. Everything but.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be as vulgar or combative as I am. You could be way more eloquent than I am. But to see the silence in the 2024 award season, specifically the 2024 award season, the
Grammys, Oscars,
the Grammys, I believe the Emmys, the Golden Globes, to see not one comment when we've seen people cry. They're so hurt about climate change. They're so hurt about this, that, and the third. Yeah. And to see 20-somethings get awards and say nothing when there's 20-somethings still in Gaza being held hostage.
Yeah.
You could even say for both sides, I want peace and I want the hostages free. Even if it's you know, sort of just a blanket sort of thing. Not even to say I want peace. Yeah. You know, the only thing we got is that fucking Annie Lennox. You know, the only thing we got was that, and then we got a couple of small, tiny yellow pins from inconsequential people. And they're no disrespect, but like, you know, the president of the Golden Globes, who, great, you did it.
It's not even that they didn't speak Montana Tucker. She's Jewish. She wore
I'm talking about the people.
I know, but not even that. She came in with a big yellow ribbon, yellow ribbon, and she was approached by someone who worked, I don't remember if it was Oscars or Grammys, and they asked her to remove it because it's political. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
I didn't hear about it.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Whenever it comes to Jews, it's political.
Yep.
When it's climate change, when it's LGBTQ, when it's African American people, whenever it's anything but Jews, it's fine, and you have to speak up against it. But when it's Jews, like, listen, it's complicated. It's not. It's not complicated. And we're in Israel, we don't understand that. I get the perspective I have as I get from Michael's Instagram and from other influencers that I follow, that they give me the outside perspective, because in Israel, it's, of course, we're Jews, and, you know, it's the Israeli government, and everything is very, you know, we talk about October 7th, whatever. But people, like, outside of Israel, like, for me to see people ripping down, like, posters.
Yeah, that was crazy.
For me, I was like, I can't really, I think it's a prank. Like, I don't understand.
It seemed like almost like a prank.
Exactly. I didn't understand, like, and like many other Israelis, I think 100% of Israelis, we all thought about, like, how did nobody, like, punch those people in the face? Like, what is it? Like, it's not, like, filming them. That's what I'm going to get you fired. I'm going to bury you. Like, it's just... What is going on in the world right now? But it's for me, it was very weird to see.
And yeah, the poster ripping down was, for me, it was, for everybody. It was just so surprising.
Yeah, the level of hatred. I don't.
And to happen in New York, you know, where like the closest thing that you could, you know, the closest thing you compare it to is 9/11, and the posters were a symbol of the lives lost, and the symbol of the heartbreak, and the symbol of the catastrophe and of the nightmare. And to think that people would rip down posters of babies and women and any of them, men, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As if it doesn't, like they don't count, or that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
That was
Or that these are not real people. This is AI. Like all this shit. Or just like, fuck them. It was crazy. You know, like this, when the dust settles on this time, you know, we're going to look back at this time and be like, damn.
Did you feel unsafe in New York those first few? I was there, by the way. I left Israel during the war. I was in New York. I escaped. I was that Ola who left Israel and ran back to America.
I'm Israel Chai, all the way from New York. Yeah, good for you.
And immediately when I got to New York, I actually didn't want to come back. Just saying.
Of course you did.
It was scary.
Did you feel scared, or was it what you were seeing on social media?
I think it was what I was seeing on social media mostly. I didn't like walking on the streets. You know, you can't look at me and think I'm Jewish, but we did. I was staying at my friend's apartment. We were debating taking the mezuzah off. We were scared. We were terrified.
I mean, honestly, you know, since October 7th, because number one, I'm recognizable in regards to speaking out. I have been, you know, I go out like, I'm like, you know, like I don't sort of walk around as casual when I'm not in my neighborhood. My neighborhood, I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, because just of where we live, and I just feel comfortable, you know. But when I'm outside of my little bubble of my neighborhood, you know, honestly, I have been a lot more sort of, you know, paying attention, and I'm walking around.
Aware, yeah.
But to be honest, and knock on wood, I hope this continues, I haven't even gotten a dirty look.
Oh, wow. I got a dirty look.
You got a dirty look here?
In Israel, yeah. From construction workers.
Interesting.
Yeah, I won't say what ethnicity they were, but like that, I got some. They recognize me. I can tell they recognize me in a bad way, but I don't care.
Maybe it wasn't
interesting.
A dirty look.
Yeah, like it's that. When I came
maybe
back,
they were checking out the most eligible Israeli bachelor.
You know what? It might. Let's not assume it was your stand. It might have been they're jealous that there's, because you know dudes are like, yo, look at him in real life. He don't really look like he should be the most eligible bachelor. Like, it might have been that. So you might be, you know.
Let me tell you this. I came back from reserves and I stopped at a gas station, and usually at gas stations, especially in Judea and Samaria, Arabs work there, and he was in his phone or whatever, and I came to him with like a can of like Zero or whatever, and pack of cigarettes, and he just looked up at me and was like, oh. He was like, oh, it's you. I was like, yeah, that's me. I was like, good. I was like, okay. I don't understand this interaction. Like, is this a good thing that you recognize me, or this is a bad thing?
You know what's funny for you? I'm going to tell you this. Not to say that you're Ryan Gosling, but when you come to the United States,
don't hype him up even more.
No,
don't. He doesn't need it.
Because there'll be people that like are gonna like know you from, because social media is so broad.
Yeah,
it's like you'll trip out. You'll be like, you know, like they'll know you from that.
I told you, we were talking about it yesterday.
You know, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, and you deserve it. I mean, the people that have been speaking out, you know, in Israel and articulating their point of view, do deserve it. They do deserve it. But you'll trip out off of it.
I will, because the last time I was in New York was like a year and a half ago, and of course I'm walking around New York. No one knows who I am, just like in Israel. I'm walking around, and then like a group of Israelis went right in front of us, like, oh, Matan Perez, oh my God.
Oh,
and they started taking pictures of me. And then the other people that was outside like Hard Rock Cafe, and other people was looking at me like, who are you?
That's
And I
hilarious.
was like, no, I'm a comedian from Israel. Really? Okay. Can I take a picture with you? I was like, why?
Were they? They weren't Israeli.
Why
Jewish.
would you what would you do with that picture? Nobody knows.
Right.
Exactly.
They were fully
It's
American.
deflating. It's like, I'll take a picture because they did, but I don't know who you are.
Exactly. That was very weird.
Or I don't know who you are, but can I take a picture with you?
Absolutely. That happens a lot. Yeah. It's like, they know who you are. I guess maybe. I don't know.
Speaking of social media and being well known and going viral and all that stuff, this is a question directed towards both of y'all. What was your most viral wartime post or reel?
Shit.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know which is the most. You know, I don't know which is the most.
All of them.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of them. I can't remember
Was there
which.
one you maybe specifically liked the most that you posted? Do you have a favorite wartime reel?
The thing about social media, I could say this, and probably Maton feels the same way, is I love them all.
Okay.
Like
Otherwise, I wouldn't post it.
I have a favorite of yours.
Let me just say, like, outside of wartime, you know, if there was a way to monetize and contrive when something is going to go viral, you know, I'd be a rich man.
Yeah.
Not that I make money off of it.
Yeah.
I don't make money off the fucking videos. I make no Let me tell you something.
Yeah, here we go.
I make money off your comments.
Yeah.
The more watermelons, the more free Palestine from the. I make money off of that. A lot of money. Maton also.
Yeah.
Have your prices gone up? Mine have gone up since we last.
Absolutely. Every watermelon or Palestinian flag. Woo.
Or if you call me a Zionist, so much money. If you call me any kind of watermelons, Palestine flags from the rivers. If you just say river or sea.
Yeah, we get money.
But if you say river and sea, it's double the money. But in all seriousness, like, you know, like my ranting on social media pre October 7th, like, you know, I'll the majority of them, I think they're, you know, funny, or
Yeah.
I'm making myself laugh or something about it, or I'm getting this incredible point across, or, you know, this is a zinger, or, you know, this is a great analogy about, you know, sports or pop culture. And some of them, you know, like, I'm like one of the biggest ones I ever did, like, they're just kind of, I don't know how
You don't
it
think
works.
about it too much.
Because there's no way to, I don't know how it works.
I got two on my videos. One of them was one of the early ones that I talked about the hostages, one of the first ones, and it like really blew up.
It was the one in the uniform, right?
No.
No?
The one
Oh.
with the white T-shirt. People were going crazy about it because I wasn't very apologetic in that video. I was like, "Fuck everybody." so that would have been very viral. And the second one was when I put that little kid from Canada that's screaming like "Intifada Revolution."
Oh, I remember that one.
That one blew up
Literally
in
a 10-year-old
Canada.
boy.
People in Canada was horrified. Like, I posted it, and then
Oh, right. I remember the little kid.
the little kid
boy,
that
yeah.
was going, there is only one
Yes,
solution.
yeah, yeah.
And I gotta say, the chants are awesome. Like, I'll
very
give
good.
them that.
They got us.
Wow.
They have great.
Yeah.
You know what?
Great
Nothing
social
rhymes
media.
with free the hostages.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing rhymes with
We gotta
stop
work on
killing
it. We
Jews.
gotta work on it. We
Yeah.
have to work on it.
I mean, and we can't, like, things rhyme with rape, but you can't.
Yeah,
that's not really the ones you want to do that with.
exactly. You don't want to, but like
October 7th, you know, and maybe you'll come back and we'll get you on the 11th. Like, there's nothing that rhymes.
Nothing really works. Our chants are not like, it's very catchy.
Some of them, I'll be totally honest with you. I'll be totally fucking honest with you.
Let's go.
There's been a couple where I've woken up, like, I see it on social media, and then
Don't tell me you're gonna. You're
they're in my,
singing
like,
it.
they're
No.
like, it's like, and I'm like, what are you, the fucking Yemen, make us proud. Turn it, or, you know,
Turn
like,
another sheep around.
there was,
yeah.
you know, because
Oh,
also,
my-
if you look at the videos, like, there was last
No,
week, they
they're-
were at the MoMA.
They're very catchy.
This fucking girl looked like she was at a Travis Scott
Yeah,
concert.
yeah,
Like, she
yeah.
was like, and I'm just like, yo, what? What do I mean? Like I had FOMO. I was like, I want to be there.
We gotta do better, guys. We have to. We have to.
We need better chance.
We need.
But go ahead. So with your favorite videos.
Yeah. So the little boy from Canada that was going, there is only one solution, Intifada Revolution, and I was like, he's from Canada.
And he's like 10 years old.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Yeah. Like, let the country that you're in, like, enjoy the country and you're in Canada, so enjoy the country that you're in. And it started with a lot of Americans going, this is from Canada, this is from Canada, this is not from whatever. And then
like America was any better.
A bunch of Canadians went crazy on the comments. They were like, that's not our country. That's not what we represent. What is this? Where is this from? And I was like, I don't know. Like, it's just a little Canadian kid. So that one,
that was wild.
That one
was
went crazy viral. Like, a Canadian influencer actually downloaded the video and put it on his page. And it went even more viral.
Yeah,
for
good.
Canadians. So
is it good?
Yeah,
more people
was,
should see your shit. I tell you, talk shit. Let them know. Explain your shit, like, you know, in how you do it, in your point of view, because you break it down and.
Yeah, I got I got a DM from the people that tried to do the "Would you hide me?"
I remember that.
Disgraceful shit. They were like, "Ugh."
It's well intentioned. It was well intentioned.
It was well intentioned.
I know. And they were trying to get me on board. That was their mistake, because they were trying to get me on board, and I was like, what the fuck? What is this? And they were like, we try to get to an Israeli crowd. I was like, that is not.
No, that ain't gonna get to the Israeli crowd.
Yeah.
No, you don't want that to get to Israeli crowd. I was like, I'm gonna stop it right here. That stops with me. I'm gonna, like, this is not happening. And that one went really viral because a lot of Americans went like, oh yeah, finally some Jews were, without trembling knees. So it was. Yeah.
But I agree with Michael. It was well intentioned.
It's always everything is well intentioned.
Yeah,
and especially that was. I know it was well intentioned.
Yeah, but you don't tell Israelis go hide in the attic.
Hell no.
You don't tell Israelis go hide.
Now that I know more Israelis,
Holy
hell
shit.
no. You don't.
Yeah.
You might tell them, like, calm the fuck down.
Yeah,
like,
maybe calm down, but don't go hide in the attic.
Right. Michael, you were saying the comments make you money. All those comments. Yeah. What has been your favorite hate comment ever received? Also for you, I'm curious, Maton.
Oh, I got
my favorite hate comment was when somebody said, "I'm glad Phoebe from Friends left you for Paul Rudd." That was a good one. Like, I was like, because that shit bothered me.
They're so clever.
Because that personally, I was like, that stung me. Because at the end of the day, like, I wanted Phoebe to be with Gary the cop.
Yeah,
and like that, I was like, oh, fuck you, man. That hurt me.
Do you respond to these hate comments? No, right?
I think I retweeted that,
or
I hearted it. That was a good one.
That's so funny.
The funny ones, I'll give them.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite one that stuck out. I thought that was clever.
That was. That's very clever. I think the thing that they don't understand that we're comedians. Yeah. So if you deliver a good burn, we're like, that's a good one.
What was yours?
Mine was. I'm trying to remember the phrasing. It was for a genocidal baby killer douchebag. You're kind of hot. That was my favorite comment of all time. And I was like, thank you. I don't know. That's very weird.
That's hilarious. Funny. That's really funny. That's really funny.
It was written from the heart. You could tell. It was straight from the heart. Yeah, it was.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
I took a screenshot and put it on my story.
You got a screenshot that.
Yeah. And she was like, remove this. I don't want, like, I removed the comment, remove the story.
No, we're not removing it.
No.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
It was very appreciated. Yeah, that's very appreciated. There was one from Indonesia, obviously.
I was just about to say, there has to be an Indonesian
My
one.
favorite country on earth, Indonesia. There was an influencer that took a bunch of pictures of mine and put them on, like, you know, like a weird ass like Photoshop
Meme?
me reading the Quran or whatever, and it was so funny that I keep like reposting it, like I was posting it in my stories until his page got blocked.
That's funny.
And he was like, my page got blocked. I hate you, and I was like, oh no, but you make me more memes.
I had a dude make me a meme.
Is it your profile picture?
Yeah, because they made me Hasidic from Chabad 770 in Brooklyn when the tunnels, and I was
That's his Instagram.
and it was like, I asked the dude, yo, can you make me more? They didn't respond. I was like, that shit's fun. That was a good one.
They're so funny.
Yeah,
they're really good. I have to.
I heard the story about like what gave me an inspiration was I heard a story about that Dave Chappelle did in the Chappelle show. He did a bit about Prince.
Yeah.
And then Prince took the picture of Dave Chappelle dressed as Prince and put it on his album. So I was like, this is amazing, because he was like making fun of Prince or whatever.
Loved it.
And Prince just loved that so much. And they put it, and then Dave Chappelle was like at the Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, and he was like, what can I do? Like, I can't sue him for like, you know, copyrights, because it's just me impersonating him. What can I do?
And also, it's an honor.
Exactly, and it's an honor. So for me, people were just putting so much effort to like try to like shame me, and they had some beautiful things.
Some of them are dope.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yo, can you make? I'm performing in Kentucky. Now, can you make me a poster or something? Like, the dates are April 17th through April 19th. Like, you can just put michaelrapaport.com. You know, like.
Well, especially because you guys are stand-up comedians, like Maton said. You guys take it with humor.
If they're funny, you know.
If they're funny, yeah.
If they're funny, you know.
Do you guys have a favorite or Israel advocacy crush that you gained during the war?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, we had a lot of Israel advocacies
that
pop up during the war.
Kochva girl, that
it doesn't have to be a girl, it can be a guy.
You don't know her? She's just the most beautiful girl on earth. Like, I'm sorry, she's got a boyfriend or a husband. I don't know.
Who is she?
Kochva, whatever. Her last name is.
Is she Israeli?
Yeah, she's Israeli. She's
you
in the
know
IDF
exactly
right
who
now.
you've checked her out. Kofka? How do you say it?
Kochva. Yeah, I stopped. Creeping her page when I noticed she had a boyfriend. I was like, All
right, well, Kofka, the most eligible. Listen, I'm sure your boyfriend's fantastic.
No.
But was it 2023 or 2020?
2023.
Yeah.
2023, potentially 2024, most eligible bachelor in Israel. He's on standby right now, currently. That could change, though.
He's waiting.
Yeah,
do you have a favorite crush?
I'm trying to think. My mind just went blank of.
And don't say Maton Parrots.
No, this is a given.
Yeah.
Let me. It'll pop in my head, because some of them are American, and I'm trying to think the Israeli.
Think of the bracket we had. Remember the biggest wartime hero bracket? We had a lot of the good ones.
Were they Israeli or American?
No,
ones?
It doesn't have to be Israeli.
The Israeli ones are like. They're the more
Uri
like
Cohen, Noah Tishby.
Yeah.
Well, Noah I love because I like her shit, but it's not like it's more like a sisterly thing. I don't know who it is, but I like them all, and I celebrate them all, and I truly try to give anybody a platform. That's my man Jacob.
Jacob! Wow, he was really good. The guy in the car with the
Sebastian Maniscolo.
Oh, yes,
Italian accent.
He's great. He's great. I got to meet him. He's
awesome.
dope, and all of them. There's a couple of women that are Israeli, and they're not even influencers. There's a couple of women. I can't remember their names. I haven't even got to meet, but they just were talking. There's
Mia.
Who is it?
Mia Talis. She's a very good one.
There's a girl here. I can't remember her name. I know she.
Emily in Tel Aviv.
She's I believe she's an open lesbian, because she says da. She'll be talking Israel, and then she has a tattoo that says I think her tattoo says I fuck women. So she just breaks it down really good, and and I love it when it's. For me, it's like when it's in Hebrew and an Israeli accent, and it's broken English with Hebrew. That shit's
combo.
And you're articulating yourself like that. That's like a mixture, because you're like, what the fuck? She's really good. And because she did one about, and then I think her tattoo says I fuck women, and
it's amazing.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah. So Michael, I'm curious because I grew up in Texas. My family's still there, and I have a lot of American Jewish friends back in America, and I know a lot of them were scared to speak out. One, to lose their non-Jewish friends, and two, it was just scary to speak out. You know, people in the workplace, bosses maybe being anti-Semitic, anti-Israel. Has your career / friendships been impacted by your Hasbara and pro-Israel advocacy during this time?
I've had some friendships that I do know. It hasn't been like an actual conversation. There's a couple of friendships that I think might take a shift. And honestly, it's so ridiculous if it does take a shift, but I feel like there already is a shift. And that is what it is. As far as my career, you know, I would say, to be totally honest, as of February, where we are recording this, you know, I would say there's heat on me about it. Like, it's like, but as far as work is concerned, nah, there hasn't been any shift. And I think eventually, because people know that I am sort of, at this point, laying it on the line in regard to continuing to speak out on behalf of us, I've gotten more positive, and I've gotten more, I'm going to work with you. I want to work with you from the Jews that do control Hollywood. So I think inevitably it won't, I don't buy into any of that. I don't let that affect me. I don't let fear affect me. I don't let being myself affect me. Like I said, you know, is there like heat on me? You know, am I a little bit like bright red? Yeah, but that shit is short term. And I'm Michael Rapaport. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't say anything wrong. Even in my most visceral, curse laden rants, I've never said anything that I need to apologize. And I've needed to apologize about things in the past that have nothing to do with Israel or Jewish, and I have, because I think, you know, it shows strength to apologize. And I think it shows you're a man to apologize, especially if you talk as much shit as I do. You know, you're going to misstep. You're going to mistweet. Yeah. And I don't feel like that is weak. I feel like that's human. You know, if we're doing something as simple, like we're talking, I spit it, I'm like, yo, I'm sorry. Yeah. You know, or if we're your friends, you know, I apologize to my wife. I apologize to friends. You know, that's the nature of relationships. So my nature of my relationship with the world and my public persona, there's going to be times that I need to apologize. I've been extremely careful and calculated with the way I say things. I am very aware. I look at social media as performance art. Even in my most frustrated, most visceral, even in my, you know, and because my emotions are high in regard to this time, I'm very conscious of what I'm saying. Yeah. It seems like it's all, but I'm conscious of what I'm saying because I also know that there are, you know, the genocide and these things, and you're combating that term. People have lost their lives. Yeah. There has been many, many innocent people in Gaza that have lost their lives. There are certainly many, 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 many innocent people in Israel that have lost their lives. So you have to be conscious of that. Yeah. And when I have a camera in front of my face, when I am doing a podcast, I am conscious of that. Yeah. But it is a sort of performance art when I'm doing it. There's a you know, we're all performers.
It's the same thing with stand-up comedy. To make it look like it's just something you came up with right now, it's a form of art because obviously you thought about it beforehand, you wrote it down, whatever, you practice it. But to be on stage and make people feel like you're reading it,
of course,
it's not good. So when you're on stage and you make people feel like, oh, here's something I just thought about, that's the art. That's the thing.
Yeah, and most of the time, unless it's like a riff, you've done it.
Yeah, you've done it
100 times.
Absolutely. And to make people feel like it's just from the top of your head. Yeah, that's the thing. And the same thing with videos. Obviously,
there's take two on the videos.
Always is.
Yeah. If I have to go past take two, I might maybe saying something I shouldn't say. Like, or if it's like I did something and it didn't record, I'm like, maybe, because there's like, I'm like, it only seems to happen on things like, maybe I shouldn't be saying this shit.
I had the same experience with the Saturday Night Live sketch about the presidents of the universities, right? They did like a disgraceful sketch about, they try to make the women that were interviewed.
She was the bad guy.
Yeah, she was the bad guy.
She was freaking out.
And I love SNL. Like, I grew up watching SNL even more than Eretz Nehederet, which is Israeli SNL, which is I'm not even gonna say. But
don't say.
Yeah, I'm not like. Anyway, so SNL was a big part of my life as a kid. Nobody watched it with me. Nobody, because nobody understood anything. But for me, I was really drawn to like American pop cultures from a very young age, and to see that sketch, and to see where SNL is in the past 5 years, which is a disgrace, for me it was triggering. So
it should be.
I recorded a video. I think I said the word
I saw
fuck
it.
like 1,000 times in like 90 seconds. And then I was like, I'm not gonna post this. This is going to the to the drafts. This
right.
Is, and then I recorded.
It's on the cutting room floor. This is those will be fine. They'll find this in 10 years from now. These are
exactly.
Maton Peretz outtakes.
Yeah.
Never seen before.
Exactly. So I was like,
you definitely have.
I'm gonna do videos. A new one. Like I'm gonna wait until tomorrow. I will come down and I will record a new one. It was more like very. Yeah, but I saved the original one. I asked my followers. I was like, if you guys want to see it, like I will post it in my stories. Like if you guys want to see
which is still a little dangerous,
like the uncut, like, and they were like, yeah, please post it. And I put it in my stories, and people were like, you should post that in your reels. And I was like, nah.
No.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to just delete.
Yeah.
And then delete it off your phone.
Yeah.
Like there's been a couple. I'm like, just don't. That's not.
It's not a good
I'll
idea.
send this like a third party, and they're like, yo. Delete that shit and then go into your deleted videos and delete it so it's gone. So you don't.
It's scary, even for me with the Olim and TLV account. It's sometimes I'm posting things and I'm scared. I'm scared to speak out. I double take everything I post, even though mine is mostly comedic. But
worst case, you can run away to New York again,
right?
Or Texas. But yes. Worst case.
Worst case, you just can leave the country. I don't have that option.
We're not making. Can we make fun of you?
Of course,
let's make fun of you. We
try.
told everyone on this podcast to show up 30 minutes early to prepare.
I tried.
Michael, who has the busiest schedule.
Do my podcast. I'm like. We're doing a show. Are you going to show up together for the show?
I don't know if he's going to show up. Everyone shows up on time.
I deserve it.
Everyone shows up on time. The American shows up on time. The American Israeli shows up on time. The Israeli shows up 5 minutes before the podcast
I had a big
starts.
show last night.
And Michael doesn't have a million things going on?
That's true.
I mean, shit,
I don't know
man.
if he's even going to show up to your show Wednesday, just saying.
No, I'm concerned.
I'm
that, like, if
also.
I show up to the show, like, I'm going to be like, on there, be like, they're like,
Maton
oh, he's not here. And I'm like,
he's not here.
No. The show starts at 9:30. I'll be there from like 7.
All right.
You better believe I'm going to sleep there a night before.
I won't believe it till I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael, I think one of the last final questions I had.
Last final, okay.
Before we get into the next
We're having so
segment.
much fun.
Next phase? Oh, there's a next phase?
No, but this is
Okay.
a very important question. I think for me, you've been a very big inspiration as an American Jew, and seeing you speak out and not be scared. Not be scared. And like for me, I think it's been very challenging.
There's fear.
Yes, but like you said, you're trying to get over that. And
I bumped through that shit.
Yes. So
I bumped through it.
What's your biggest piece of advice for American Jews who are, or not just Jews all over the world, watching this right now and wanting to speak out and stand up for themselves and who they are, but they're scared to? What would you say?
Well, as far as speaking out, you don't have to disrespect anyone else in being pro-Israel and pro-Jewish. You can just be that. And if friendships are lost because of that, that's not a kind of person you want to be friendly with at the end of the day. Yeah. If you're being honest, you're being clear, you're being thoughtful, there's no reason why you shouldn't speak out. I think that one of the things that I hope for going forward for American Jewish people, I can't speak on behalf of Israeli Jews because you guys are a different thing, and I think it's fucking awesome.
Yes,
but one thing about American Jews is like, we need to move the needle forward in the stereotypes of how we articulate and present ourselves in the world. So much of these stereotypes are of the funny things, and that's great. The Woody Allens, the Larry Davids, the Adam Sandler characters, the Ross from Friends, and I'm not saying this in any disparaging way. I've played a couple of characters like that. They're dope. They're fucking awesome. They're funny, and they're going to continue to be funny.
That's true.
But that's not who we are, and we need to say some of the things that we say behind closed doors publicly, the positive things, and to stand with our shoulders back and be proud of our success, be proud of who we are. And there, you know, you're allowed to be proud of who you are. Everyone else is proud of who they are.
Exactly.
Every other community is proud of who they are. We're allowed to also be proud of who we are. And we are inclusive. I want to remind Jews that we're generous, we're thoughtful, we're compassionate, we're smart, we're brilliant. And, you know, there should be no shame in that. That's what I want to, you know, like, that's my message for that.
Amazing.
And I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. You know, I've always meant that. And I've always, you know, just to sort of go a little deeper, like, you know, one of my goals is when I started as an actor when I was 20, 21 years old was to not be those stereotypical Jewish parts. And like I said, I've played them and it's okay to play them. But if you're a performer and you play into those stereotypes, and I'm saying stereotypes, it's not a bad thing. And then when the shit hits the fan, you've made your career off of being a neurotic Jew or just a funny Jew. When the shit hits the fan and you got nothing to say for Jews, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
That's disappointing to me.
That's kind of hypocritical, I think.
Because you've made your bones. There's people that have made millions and millions of dollars of doing it who have fucking are Houdini'd. They've disappeared.
Yeah. That's true.
And that shit's disappointing. And like I said, you don't have to be as bombastic as I am or combative as I am, but to not say anything and you've quote unquote Jewed it up on camera for 20, 30 years, you got nothing to say now, shit's disappointing.
It's very disappointing, actually.
So guys, Michael Rapaport for president?
Yeah,
Yep.
I bet.
I'd vote, just saying.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I will get my American citizenship and I will vote.
He will
for
He will find an American while living here, marry her for the green card, and move to America.
I already send you a screenshot of my wife.
Yesterday I'm at dinner with my friends and I get a message from Maton. I thought it was to talk about today in the podcast. It's like, Noah, do you know who this girl is? I think I found my future wife.
Yes.
Like, I have no idea.
Or my future ex-wife. I don't know.
Or your future ex-wife.
But
Could go either way.
She looks like
50-50 chance.
Yeah.
50-50 chance.
She could be a great ex. Absolutely.
Did you DM her?
What?
Did you DM her?
No.
Why?
I don't know.
Why not? You're Maton Parrots, the most eligible Israeli bachelor. DM her.
I like you. You could be a great ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, I say that all the time. You could be a great ex-wife.
2024 pickup lines.
Yeah. I don't know. But I'm going to find you. I'm going to text you.
Have you gotten a hitting up from any American? Like, you'd be great on, like, you know, I mean, aside from comedy, like, you know, like all these reality shows in America, like you'd be dope on some of those shows.
Oh my God, Maton.
I don't know if
Big Brother. I mean, I know they have the ones over here,
no.
and I think you should do all that. But I think like there's like I
told him he needs to go. He needs to be in America soon. He'll do shows, do everything there. People will know him. Like we'll get him over there.
We might want to wait a few months. Just because, like, you know, like they're fucking modest Yahoo, they're protesting, protesting me.
Yeah. A few months.
My mom told me
you're gonna be fine in America. It's gonna be dope.
I'm playing
more than fine.
Yeah.
My mom told me that when I was I think 11 or 12 years old, my father got an offer from the American Army, like from the U.S. Army, to go there and be like we should have been living in the States. And my dad should be working like from the IDF, working with the American Army. And she said no, like never. Like my mom just turned that down, and it's very hard for me to forgive her for that. but she was like, you see, but I can't keep America away from you. Like I thought that I was protecting you, but America will find you at the end.
Yeah, you'll
April.
Yeah,
May.
you're just like oil. America will find you.
Around April, May.
It's just, you know.
We'll see.
Anybody said freedom?
We'll see.
Yeah, so hopefully.
Okay, on to the final part, our favorite part, Michael. Welcome to the hot takes discussion. I don't know if you saw these on our post. We post it once a week. Our followers submit hot takes. Do you know what a hot take is? Duh. Okay, so we're going to openly discuss these hot takes, and at the end, we're going to say, is this a hot take or not a hot take? Is this controversial or not? First hot take.
Yeah.
You can put hummus on anything, and it tastes good. Anything.
I'd say that's a hot take. That's a hot take. Well, not anything.
Not anything.
You can't put like if you're eating like spicy Doritos, that ain't gonna taste good.
Maybe Doritos.
But I'm saying spicy Doritos would be like it's kind of like that doesn't seem like a good mix.
So this person said anything in caps. So
I
I'm
heard
assuming-
someone said that hummus is the Arab guacamole, and I was like, yeah, that makes
100%.
sense.
Sounds
That makes sense.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't put anything on anything. So,
Okay.
but in
So it's a
general,
hot take.
I would say it's a good hot take.
Yeah.
I think
okay,
it's
hot take.
yeah.
Omer Adam's music is overrated.
Omer Adam, you know Omer Adam?
Tel
I have to say that's not a
Aviv.
take.
You know
Oh.
the song? Yeah, Tel Aviv, yeah, Habibi, Tel Aviv.
No, it's not. It's not overrated.
Okay.
Yeah,
Trying to
he's
get
great.
me in trouble and shit.
Maton? Overrated or not overrated?
If his said you don't want to get in trouble, Omer Adam is amazing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So hot take.
I haven't gotten
What's
to the
hot
Omar
take?
Adams deep cuts yet, so I can't make a
Okay. Okay.
I need to listen to the B side of his album, and then I'll decide.
like I started like the quickest is Omar Adams very popular.
Yes.
Yes,
yes.
So that'll be my way, like, to get myself in trouble with, because like now
Yeah.
Israel
Yeah,
likes me.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck did he
Okay,
say about
okay,
Omar Adams?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we agree that he's
He's
it's not
popping.
overrated.
Omar Adams is not,
Not
overrated.
So this is controversial. This is a hot take.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
This next one is very, I need you to pay full attention.
Okay.
Israeli influencers don't exist.
What do you mean by that? What do you? I have to understand.
Someone said it. I don't know. I guess compared to like American influencers, they just mean Israeli influencers aren't real. Like they don't exist.
They very much exist, and we hate them all.
This is
Almost.
You're an Israeli influencer.
Yeah, but I'm a stand-up comedian.
First.
Yeah. Whenever they try to convince me to go to this like launching or whatever, like you're gonna meet a lot of people there. Yes, that I hate because Israeli influencers, most of them, not all of them. There's some good ones, but most of them are just unbearable.
But what about
Really.
influencers? I mean, there's so many influencers.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the fact that what the fuck is that? An influencer?
I don't know. Let's debate it. What isn't it? How do you define an influencer?
I don't know.
There are.
They're
I guess they're
influencing.
influencers.
Yeah. They're influencing.
They're not influencing shit.
You ain't influencing me to do shit.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
Exactly.
So they don't exist.
They influence me the other way. Like when I see someone,
Telling you to do
commercial for
something?
something, this is great cream. Nah, I'm gonna put my face in
But
the
they
mud.
do exist.
They do exist.
and they make a lot of money.
They make
Man,
a
they
lot
make-
of
they make
money.
a lot of money.
A lot of
Some of them are like, yo,
Yeah.
what? $20 million.
It's
I'm like,
crazy.
what are you
It's
talking
insane.
about?
Yeah, I started my like influence phase when I
Don't
was.
quote. You're an influencer.
No, because I started very late. Like I got my biggest share of like audience and followers was when I was like 32, right? So when I get my first like campaign, they were like, listen, you should shoot a video. You should come to this screening of this video. It was 2021, I think, right after COVID. And I was like, you should go to the premiere, make a video around a minute and 20 seconds, and we will pay you 5,000 shekels.
Nice.
And I was like, what? I
They
was
make a lot
32
of
years old,
money.
and I was like, for one video, and I'm going to go to the premiere for free. This is, like, how dare they, like, complain about this?
Oh, no, it's awesome.
There's a bunch of, like, girls, like, Israeli
you're a-
influencers
Yeah, it's-
going
Especially
like,
those
this is
Israelis.
the hardest job. What? Are you serious right now? This
Insane.
is the easiest job I've
Easiest.
ever. That's not even a job.
They make so much money. It's disgusting. It's crazy.
But
It's
they
crazy.
do exist.
They
They
fair,
do exist.
fair. Next one. No one in TLV knows how to walk properly. So, Michael, when I'm in New York, I walk with purpose. Everyone walks with purpose. Everyone just walks. They see nothing around them. I feel like in Tel Aviv, Israelis, they walk and they're just like,
Are they meandering?
strolling, stopping by to say hi to people.
I
Like,
hate when you walk and you don't have a purpose. Where are you going? Like, stay at home.
So I feel like that's how most Tel Avivians are.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you got nowhere to be, stay at home. Don't just.
That's surprising.
Have you noticed
to me.
the walking here?
No, because I mean, I'm like, I can't read this. I'm like, I'm.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
He's one of them.
And also, I'm like, beep. Wait, should I go this way? Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
But so I would think that Tel Aviv is kind of hustle and bustle. Interesting.
Depends on the area, actually. Depends on the area.
Sure, I'm not talking about Hulon. I'm talking about.
No, I'm talking about Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv. The busy areas of Tel Aviv are very. If you go to southern, like Florentine and shit,
Maybe,
people are just like.
yeah.
What about where you live?
Hulon?
Yeah.
Hulon is just like a. I don't even know how to explain.
We need to take Michael to Hulon.
Yeah,
He said he didn't want to take me, right?
Day trip to Hulon with Michael.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
It's gonna be awesome. Hulon, it's mainly old people
It's the most underrated city in Israel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you see people running in Hulon, they're running on their way to a fight. That's the only reason people are not jogging. People are running to like get into trouble. That's Hulon. Yeah, that's
Michael would love it. He would love it.
Yeah.
Last hot take. American Jews love Israel more than Israelis.
That's not even remotely true.
I mean, American Jews living in Israel definitely love Israel more than Israel.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
American
That's true.
Jews live in it, yes.
100%.
Yes. I agree.
Because you came here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like somebody who moved to New York who really, really is new to New York. You're gonna love it more than a New Yorker.
Yeah.
And New Yorkers love New York, but it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I think before the war, though, American Jews
100%.
loved Israel still more than Israelis. Like most of them, but I think now
The Americans that live here, yeah, absolutely.
even outside,
Absolutely. They're fascinated by everything.
Yes, because it's a newness.
Yeah, what a beautiful country. I was like, fucking, shut the fuck up.
Right. It's like, you know, like I'm walking around taking pictures of like, oh, let's look at that sign, you know, or it's like, you know, in Central Park where I'm there all the time, every day. You know, and people are like, you know, and where I'm like, I'm here every day. You know, I've taken a piss behind that bush that you're taking a picture of. You know? So it's just a familiarity.
Yeah. If you made the sacrifice to leave America
and live here,
and live here, you love Israel more than I do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But no, you could attest to this. You know, the much talked about. Much discussed, much revered spirit of the people, and there's you know Americans in Jewish Americans will talk about there's just something about Israel that is a true thing.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. Yeah,
and I think that has to do with obviously the people first and foremost, but there's a dichotomy of like old history, present, and the future here.
Yeah.
And those kinds of things, that you know makes it a cool place for you. You grew up here. It's like you.
That's the thing.
You're not taking pictures of the sign of you know.
To be completely honest, I'm incredibly jealous of Jews that come from outside of Israel. I'm really jealous about like the connection they feel when they go. I went with a group of Birthright. I was a security guard for Birthright for like a year and a half. No questions.
Yeah,
please.
you were. Yeah, you were.
Thank you. I was doing God's work in any sort of form. And one time they took the group I was with and
were you fucking around with these?
Yes, he was.
These people that are coming here for God for Birthright.
He almost convinced a few girls to make Aliyah.
Yes,
actually,
exactly.
Yeah.
He
was representing Israel in
do you talk about that on stage?
Yes. You will hear it on Wednesday.
And that's something 100% that'll translate to American audiences.
Yeah. Yes, it's...
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
You sick fuck you.
We talked about it on our last episode also.
Well, I was doing God's work as a security guard for Birthright.
God's work.
That's all I'm going to say about it right now. They took one group and they blindfolded them. And they walked them inside.
When you say they, you blindfolded them.
No. Listen, okay? Let me. And they walked them inside like the Western Wall because none of them ever seen the Western Wall. So they wanted to have like a very special experience when they line them up in front of the Western Wall and then take the blinds off. Because they want to have like a very special experience. And I was there. I was in the Western Wall for like 1,000 times ever since I was like in the first grade. Whatever. I'm not getting excited about that anymore.
You were crying probably.
So they lined them up, took the blinders off, and like a lot of people started to cry.
Wow.
And like, I got chills just thinking about it. And I'm standing there like full blown Israeli, born and raised. And I was very jealous. I was very jealous of the feeling of seeing the Western Wall for the first time when you were like 23.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, I'm so jealous about this connection because I was born with it. Obviously, it's my country. It's not, but this amazing spiritual connection that Jews from all over the world have with Israel.
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
It's amazing, and I'm very jealous of it.
Yeah. You know, one thing that is that I've noticed, and I've just met the handful of people that I've met, more than a handful. The younger Israeli people that I've met, in Israel and that are not from Israel, but that are like in New York or in Miami or where I've been since in these last few months, the younger people have at least a very, very basic, prideful, clear understanding of the history of Israel.
Yeah.
And they're able to articulate it. It's an educated understanding about the history of Israel and a prideful understanding about the history of Israel. And the majority of Americans, or I could just say New Yorkers, that I know, when we were fucking 18 to right now, don't know jack shit. And the ones that, like, when I met you, you were breaking it down. You do it in your videos. Boom, 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 boom. And every single one of the younger people, they'll break shit down. And you know, and they're just giving like the sort of overview. And I'm like, that to me is fucking dope.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's from the education. I don't know if it's part of the culture, the pride, or a mix of all things.
It's the mix of all things.
That thing is, that's dope because, you know, and even though I was a really, really, really bad student, the majority of people, you know, that I grew up with in my age and even obviously now younger, they don't know shit about the history of America and they despise a lot of things about America and are and they know more about the things they despise than anything positive.
That's true.
So that's something that I really like about talking about to the younger people from Israel.
Oh, guys, this has been so much fun. I don't want it to end.
No more hot takes?
No
Shit,
more hot
man.
takes.
Yeah, that was the last
We gotta
one.
do
We
it
could have
next
done
time.
more if he had showed up on time.
I know. It's so
No,
good.
fuck it.
It's
No, and next time
next
we'll
time.
just start without him.
Next time we won't do it with him. We'll just do us two.
Yeah.
Wait, Michael, I have one more request.
Yeah.
I want to hear your laugh. You know the laugh that I'm talking about? I can't do it. You have to do it. You have to
I've
do
never
it for
done
viewers.
it on. I've never done it
On a podcast?
for anybody else.
On demand.
On demand.
I've never done it on demand. But I will do it for you.
I'm so excited. Wait, can I video this? I'm videoing this on my phone also.
The reason why I don't do it often is because
Destroys your vocal
it takes
cords.
a toll on my vocal cords and my soul.
Oh my God, hats off for this. It's a big deal. Let's go.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm only doing this for you, Noah.
We're ready.
You fuck you.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
That was amazing.
Yes.
That's all Israel love.
Yes.
Top to bottom.
Yes.
That's a one-time.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, we're so grateful.
shot for you guys.
Wow.
Israel is the country for an evil laugh, for a good evil
It's a
laugh.
good one.
Yes,
I'm
it's
so
an amazing
honored
one.
to have witnessed
I
this
appreciate
live.
you asking me to do that.
I'm so honored. I'm so honored you did it.
I will only ever do that for you.
Not even Maton?
Amazing.
Well, for you guys.
Oh, okay.
I'm not even asking.
No, because now I'm afraid that people might say,
Yeah.
but I'll say I can't do
Just for
do
us.
it.
You've heard it here, just for Maton and
Just
I.
for us.
That's
Just for us.
dope. Yeah, that was good.
Michael,
You know
thank
who? You know who loves my laugh the most?
Who?
My wife can't stand that fucking laugh. And because number one, when I never
Sorry,
do it
Kiwi.
around her. In
I won't
real life,
ask again.
Those
I'm
videos,
sorry, I swear. Okay.
But when I'm editing a video with that laugh, or when a video with that laugh comes up on her feed.
She's over there shaking her head. I promise I won't ask ever again.
But you know what they say? Behind every laughing man, there's a woman rolling their eyes. So
That's a long time thing that people. Everyone says that.
that's why I'm single. I got no one behind me. Maybe that girl.
Maybe that girl, yeah.
My next ex-wife.
Michael, this was amazing.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
We love you. We appreciate you. Thank
I'm
you
sorry
for
I was
everything you do
late.
for us.
So
No,
sorry.
it's all good.
Wednesday, next time without Maton.
Yes, absolutely. And I appreciate you guys having me, and I appreciate everybody watching. And I
Awesome.
appreciate everybody in Israel.
Am Yisrael Chai.
I'm sorry.
Israel.
Hi. So you guys can catch us on Google Podcast,
Spotify,
YouTube, on
Rate
Olim
us,
TLV
give us good
page, everywhere. You guys can catch us on Instagram, TikTok,
Everything.
YouTube, whenever.
Submit hot takes for future times, and we'll
Please
be sure to
do.
debate them.
We love you guys. Thank
Love
you
you
so
guys.
much.
Appreciate it.
עוד יותר, יוצרי התוכן של ישראל.
הוקלט באולפני אדיו, המשווקת את ספוטיפיי בישראל.